Last summer, a carnival set up in our small town, and everyone was excited. We don't get much excitement here, so it was a big deal. The first few days were amazing, rides, games, cotton candy, the whole 9 yards. But then, something strange happened. On the fourth night, I noticed the carnival lights were still on at 3 a.m. Normally, they'd shut everything down by midnight. I shrugged it off, thinking they were just doing maintenance. But then, the next morning, the carnival was gone. Completely vanished. No trucks, no workers, no rides. Just a trampled field where everything had been. People started talking. Some said it was a prank. Others thought the carnival had financial trouble and skipped town. But then we started hearing stories. Apparently every person who had worked at or visited the carnival had vanished too. One of my friends, Jake, was among them. He'd gone with his family the night before it disappeared. The town was in a panic, and the police got involved. They found Jake's phone in the middle of the field with a final message sent at 2:59 a.m. "Help, it's taking us." The case remains unsolved, and the town has a standing rule now: no more carnivals. Every once in a while, I swear I still see the lights in the distance, flickering like a taunt. Last week I drove out to the field, unable to shake the feeling that something was calling me. As I stood there, the air grew cold, and I saw faint outlines, ghostly shapes of carnival rides. And then I heard it, faintly at first but growing louder. Laughter, twisted and echoing, calling my name. I started asking around, hoping to find someone who could explain what happened. An old man at the edge of town told me a story. Decades ago, a similar carnival came through, and just like this one, it disappeared without a trace, taking people with it. He said those taken were never found, but sometimes they come back. He warned me to stay away, but I can't. Last night, I had a dream, or at least I think it was a dream. I was back at the carnival, surrounded by the missing townsfolk. They were pale, their eyes hollow, and they begged me to join them. When I woke up, I had a ticket in my hand. Dated for the next night, the carnival appeared. I don't know what will happen if I go, but I feel like I have no choice. Story 2, the funhouse that wasn't. I used to love carnivals. The thrill of the rides, the smell of fried dough, the sounds of laughter. But that changed last year. My friends and I decided to check out a travelling carnival that had come to our city. It was pretty standard stuff until we came across a new attraction, a funhouse called the Maze of Mirrors. We paid our tickets and went inside. It was fun at first, all distorted reflections and trick corridors. But then we realized something was off. The mirrors started showing things that weren't there, reflections of people behind us that would disappear when we turned around. At first, we thought it was part of the act, but then we got separated. I wandered alone, calling out for my friends, but the mirrors seemed to absorb my voice. Panic set in when I saw my reflection, but it wasn't me. It looked like me, but it was smiling wickedly, eyes glinting with malice. I turned to run and smacked right into a wall, dazed. When I finally found the exit, hours had passed. My friends were waiting outside, pale and shaken. They'd seen the same thing, their reflections grinning evilly. We complained to the carnival staff, but they acted like they didn't know what we were talking about. The next day, the funhouse was gone. Now, whenever I see my reflection, I sometimes catch a glimpse of that evil grin, just for a split second. Worse, I've started hearing whispers from the mirrors, calling my name, promising they'll find a way out. I'm afraid one day it won't be just a glimpse. Story 3, the haunted Ferris wheel. This happened to me and my girlfriend a couple of years ago at a local carnival. We decided to go on the Ferris wheel right before closing time, hoping for a romantic end to the night. As we reached the top, the ride suddenly stopped. At first we thought it was just routine, but then the lights went out and we were left in darkness. We called out, but no one responded. The carnival grounds were eerily quiet. Then we started hearing whispers. They seemed to be coming from below us, then from above, circling around us. My girlfriend clung to me, terrified. We tried using our phones, but they had no signal. The whispers grew louder, turning into disembodied voices. They spoke of things they had seen, horrible acts and secrets. One voice, a child's, kept saying, "Help me, find me." My girlfriend started crying, and I was on the verge of losing it. After what felt like hours, the Ferris wheel jolted back to life and we were brought down. We stumbled off the ride only to find the carnival completely deserted. No workers, no patrons, nothing. We bolted to the parking lot and drove home shaken. The next day we returned to the carnival site, but it was as if it had never been there. Just an empty lot. We did some digging and found out the carnival had a history of accidents, including a child who had disappeared years ago on that same Ferris wheel. Since then, I've stayed far away from carnivals, but I still hear those whispers in my dreams. Last night, I woke up to find a small handprint on my bedroom window, smudged in condensation, and the whispers were louder, echoing around my room. I decided to visit the child's family, hoping to find some answers. They were reluctant to talk, but eventually they told me the full story. The boy had vanished on the Ferris wheel, but they had also seen him afterward, in reflections and shadows. They said he had tried to communicate with them, warning them of something dark within the carnival. As we spoke, I noticed a photo of the boy on the mantel. His eyes seemed to follow me, and I felt a chill run down my spine. The family told me that they believed the boy was still trapped in the carnival, along with others who had vanished over the years. They warned me to stay away, but I couldn't ignore the whispers. The next night, I went back to the empty lot. The Ferris wheel was there, flickering in and out of existence, surrounded by ghostly figures. I could hear the child's voice, louder than ever, begging for help. I don't know if I can save him, but I have to try. The whispers are no longer just in my dreams. They're everywhere, and they're calling me back to the carnival.